one of the fucking chickens ate its foot and it was limping around without its foot, so we had to drown it.
That's horrific.
And then we had a gamekeeper and he flicked it on the head and apparently that killed it. And I was like, oh, it was horrible actually. I grew up on a farm, these things sort of happen.
I don't think these things do happen on a farm.
Welcome back to another episode of Private Parts with me, Liv Bentley.
And me, Tom Lucy. This is the podcast where nothing is off limits.
Each week, we will reveal the most intimate and sordid details of our lives from our diaries. Tell me your diary.
Socks. No, sorry, not socks. Shoes off again this week?
Yeah, it's cozier
Maybe
vibes.
socks off next week? Or is that one step too far?
Way too far. Hate feet.
Yeah, that is weird, isn't it? We shouldn't do that.
It's like people who walk down the street barefoot, which I've actually seen in London before. I've seen it in London before, and it was, I'd prefer a pair of sandals, to be honest.
Where? Where have you seen that?
I saw it on the King's Road once.
Just walking barefoot down
Yeah,
the
which
street?
I thought was feral.
That sounds like the kind of thing that like Chris Martin from Coldplay would do. Some sort of like really rich, really woke man being like, yeah, I just don't wear shoes anymore.
No.
It works better if you live in Malibu than if you live in London, I think. You're
Yeah,
just
with
going to
sort of
stand on glass, I think.
Walking on dodgy needles and crap.
How are you? You said that you had a bit of a hormonal
Thank you,
outburst
Tom.
earlier this week.
Hormonal rage.
I want to hear about it.
Do you?
Everybody wants to hear about it, yeah.
I'm sure Olivia suffers with hormonal rage. No, I just...
She does.
She does. I think a lot of women do. I became a raving fucking lunatic the other day, 2 days prior to my period.
Talk to us about it.
Rory obviously thought I was completely nuts. I then had to text him saying I'm not a psychopath. I just lost my shit.
So is this the first time he's seen you like fly off the handle like that?
No, listen, that's making it out as if I was throwing things at him. I wasn't. I just have this slight moment before I get my period where I'm a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, that's fine. And
Well,
it
it's
happened the
fine
other
if
day.
you're not on the receiving end of it. Stomping around the flat. I said, you just leave, come back in 3 days.
Yeah, okay.
He didn't know what to say. Thank God he didn't leave.
Did he leave and come
No,
back
he
in 3
didn't.
days?
He didn't. He said, do you want to come sit down? I'll give you a little hug. I was like, that'll be lovely.
You said to me that he laughed a bit and that made it even worse.
I was stomping about, and then he obviously laughed because I looked fucking ridiculous. And I said, don't you laugh at me! Shouting up the stairs.
What were you stomping around in?
Oh, I
Boots?
don't know. Yeah, my walking... I was about to say walking boots. I don't know, walking boots. Stomping around in my trainers. I don't know. I think something you're just irritated. The problem is what happens is when you are sort of hormonal, just the smallest of things are a fucking inconvenience.
Yeah.
Like you stub your toe and it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
You just have this array of emotions and then you cry. It's horrific.
And how was Rory, how did he sort of cope with all of it? Was he good?
I think he was slightly shocked. No, he sort of gets it.
But he's, you know, been around the block
No,
a bit.
he gets it. But I think he
gets it.
Don't say he's been around the block. I think...
I was going to say something worse.
No, I know you were. Exactly what you're going to say.
He
I think
gets
you
it.
probably maybe hadn't seen mine. I have it every other month. One month I'm fine, the other month I'm a
Really?
nightmare, yeah.
I can't imagine you being like that. You always seem super chill.
I am. It's just one day. And then I'm like needy, which I'm also not very... I'm normally not a needy person.
No. Does he ever have big mood swings that you have to deal
Never.
with? Or is he quite one...
And he'll always say, I'm really stressed. I'm like, you don't look remotely stressed.
I like that. I like the sound of Rory. I'm a bit like that.
Honestly, I've never met anyone like him. He's really calm. And I
Just
sort
like
of
a
hear him on the
psychopath.
phone and it all sounds very stressed. I'm stressed listening to him and he doesn't seem stressed at all.
Does he have the same thing I've got, where his voice and emotions don't change, whatever's happening?
Yeah, what, monotone Tom. No, he shows emotion.
Rory and I could go for a lunch and it would be really
Mute.
difficult to work out if we were enjoying it or not.
No, Rory's more lively than that. But no,
Okay.
he's very good in those situations, which I think is better. You need that dynamics. It's if you're with someone when you're screaming and shouting and they're screaming and shouting,
Yeah.
it's not the one.
Have you heard this theory? I don't know if we've talked. I can't remember if I talked about it with you before or with someone else. But there's this theory about couples where this is a bit of a generalization. But
Okay, here we go.
There are two kinds of men and two kinds of women. There are masculine men.
Yeah.
And masculine feminine men.
Yeah.
And feminine women and feminine masculine women.
See, I'm probably feminine masculine woman, but he's masculine man.
Okay, so by the theory that shouldn't work then, because apparently what you get is you get masculine men.
Yeah.
With feminine women. That works, and then you get feminine masculine men with feminine masculine women, and that works.
Oh, so we're the only fucking anomaly that doesn't
No,
work,
I'm not saying
really.
it's not going to work. I'm just saying.
Well, please don't. It's gonna
according to
work.
the theory, that's what it's meant to be. Have you ever heard that before?
I haven't, but I suppose, but it's probably similar to sort of like the alpha female thing.
It kind of
isn't
makes
it?
sense though when you think about
Yeah, it does.
Your friends in relationships, you can kind of work out whether the men are.
Yeah, but I would say Rory doesn't strike. I mean, we've never had a fight that's sort of. Well, we just don't really argue, to be honest.
No.
But that's probably because he's more mature and I'm a little child who like throws the toys out of the pram, and I want to
stomps around the house.
Stomps around the house. Throwing tampons at him. No, joking.
Did you throw your Range Rover keys out the window?
No. Shut up. But then, no, I think that's more because I would say he's still masculine, but he's not like a shout. He just doesn't shout.
Have you always gone for masculine men? Or have you dated masculine, feminine men in the past?
No, they tend to be quite masculine. To be honest. But I think it's more...
We're not purely talking about appearances, we're talking about personality as well.
Yeah, they have always been. Some slightly too much because they've been too, like, aggressive almost.
Yeah.
No, not emotionless, too aggressive, whereas Rory, he's very balanced, to be perfectly honest. He's just fucking normal, which is quite shocking, really, because I'm obviously
It's unnerving to be around.
It is a bit, actually.
People who are, like, alarmingly normal is unnerving, isn't it?
And also, in my past relationships, I've always had quite... like, not aggressive fights, but it's always been quite proper arguments, which, I mean, obviously we were only together, 3 months, so it'd be odd if we were shouting at each other. But every time something slightly has cropped up, it's been like resolved in minutes.
Yeah.
Calmly.
That's
There's
good.
no packing bags and like me stomping around.
Do you miss that drama?
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
It's fucking refreshing.
Yeah, that's good.
It's really nice. I think I'm past those days.
Maybe you've just had a build-up of you haven't had any drama for a while, so it all just had to come out.
I think it's just called your time of the month, to be honest.
We'll just leave it there.
We'll just leave it at that.
Have you been following the TV comeback of your favourite Philip Schofield?
No, I didn't. I did see the sort of articles on it in the Daily Mail, obviously.
Have you ever met Philip Schofield?
I actually used to go to school with his daughters. We would do the school run with them.
This is huge. So we're going to get some exclusive insights.
I remember seeing him when he played Dr. Dolittle in the theatre.
Did you go and see that?
I did go and see it.
So you're a huge fan.
Big fan.
You're can we say day one?
Of his old work.
Of the early Schofield.
The early Schofield, the early years.
You're like those people who say they liked Taylor Swift before she became too mainstream.
I actually like Taylor Swift now. I didn't used to. I used to find it a bit irritating, whereas I really like her now.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, anyway, no, I haven't watched it. Have you?
I have seen...
Was it any good?
Yeah, so they've basically... I think they've put Philip Schofield on an island on his own for 10 days, I think it is. And he's got a video camera and he just has to film himself and film what he's doing. And it's been put together into this little sort of video of his time on an island.
What's he doing on the island?
Well,
though?
he's just talking. He's not shaving by the looks of it. He's talking a lot to the camera. He's reflecting on everything that's happened. There isn't a huge amount of remorse, I would say. It probably could do with a bit more of that.
Yeah.
But it's worth watching.
Is this a sort of move he's going to try and get his career back?
I can't imagine he's going to go from that to hosting the Oscars, but what the fuck do I know? I mean, maybe that's the start.
What's the general feedback been on it?
It's been pretty poorly received, I think.
Without sounding like a bellend, it's a bit much. You've fucked up and then you're going to an island to create your own other TV show.
Yeah, it's a little bit narcissistic, isn't it, probably?
Does he apologise for what he did?
Not really. No, he doesn't, which is pretty wild. But then, I don't know, maybe it seems to me that we live in a culture where you don't apologise, do you?
Does he feel like he was really wronged by what happened?
I don't know. Maybe he feels like let down by ITV, or because you got to remember that like there are other big ITV stars whose names
Got dragged into it?
No, I'm saying over the last few decades there have been other big ITV stars who have had big scandals, and ITV haven't dropped them, and they've stood by them, and they're still presenting shows. So maybe Schofield's a bit like, they dropped him pretty quickly when all of that happened.
But didn't they all
the Made in Chelsea guys stuck by you, didn't they?
Shut up.
Through all of that.
Don't you start. Through my OnlyFans.
They didn't throw you out on the street.
I actually got a bit pissed one night. Well, actually, that's a lie. I was stone cold sober when I suggested this a few years ago, and I said to one of the series producers, I said, if I join OnlyFans, will I get the chop? And they said, let me give you a call tomorrow morning. But I probably would have done.
Well, it wouldn't be the only place you can see Liv Bentley, which would be difficult for the Chelsea producers. How do you think you would fare on an island on your own for 10 days?
To be perfectly honest, I'd probably quite like it. I wouldn't have to have a phone. Would I have cigarettes,
No,
though?
you do have to. You have to film yourself. Are you allowed cigarettes? Probably not.
Oh, I couldn't do that then.
So your main issue with going on an island on your own would be that you can't
Yeah,
smoke.
I used to really want to do that show, The Island, and I was told they don't have cigarette supplies, and I thought, well,
what's the point?
I'm rolling up a bit of bark. I mean, I don't. It would be hard, maybe, wouldn't it?
If the video you turned in at the end of your 10 days was you smoking a tree and and just sort of like going mental.
It would be, no, to be honest.
Finding ayahuasca.
I wouldn't come back alive. What, coming back, having seen God, I could come back all religious and sort of peculiar. But I suppose it would be quite eye-opening to do that sort of experience. I just don't know if that sort of thing's for me.
What's the weirdest, of all of those kind of celebrity shows where they make celebrities do weird things. What's the weirdest one you've been asked to do?
I've never really been asked to anyone. I was annoyed actually because I was asked to do the island, but the year they were doing it, because me and another guy from Chelsea were asked to do it, and
is this the Bear Grylls?
The Bear Grylls one, they actually cancelled it because then he did some show with Miley Cyrus or something like that, which I would have actually really liked to do that. I mean, there's joking aside about the cigarette thing.
That's basically going and trying to live on an island.
I think it would be quite cool. I'd be way better at that sort of thing than prancing about in a pair of heels dancing.
Wouldn't it be great though if you got the Strictly Call Up? You'd have to do it.
It would be amazing, but it's highly unlikely.
Or you could do the slightly lower grade version, Dancing on Ice.
I actually went for the audition for that once a few years ago, and at the time I had really bad hay fever, and I remember choking back these hay fever pills, and I fell asleep in the taxi on the way there, and I was a bit drowsy. I remember in the thing they said, fall to the ground, and I thought, fuck, I might die doing this.
What? They made you fall to the ground?
They were like, go fall over and get back up again or something.
It's part of the audition?
Yeah, it was something like that. Or you got to, get yourself back up.
So the audition for Dancing on Ice, they make you sort of dance in front of them?
No, they just see your skating skills. Obviously, I have none.
Isn't that the whole point of the show, though?
Yeah. Well, I obviously just didn't get it because they'd obviously found
you were drunk.
Higher rated select because I was drunk. Yeah, no, I was not fucking drunk. Just to put that out, that was just a bit drowsy.
That feels like it's going to be a little article there. Bentley turns up to Dancing on Ice auditions battered.
We need to stop saying this because people are going to start believing that I'm some raging alcoholic.
The other thing I want to talk about that is currently out is this documentary about the 90s on Disney.
I want to watch this.
It's really, really good. It's like 6 episodes and it's all about Vogue, the magazine in the 90s. But it basically covers like the entire decade of music and art and fashion and culture and like all the models that like blew up in the 90s.
I think that would have been a way cooler time, to be honest.
And it's got all these people like Tom Ford and Anna Wintour all talking about like Kate Moss and Gwyneth Paltrow. It basically What's
it on? I want to watch it.
I think it's on Disney. And
Disney.
I think it's called In Vogue, the 90s. It's so good, but it also made me feel quite sad because I was like, that time just looks like such a more fun time to be alive. Because
there was no phones and social media. No, not everyone was filming everything every 5 minutes. That I would love to be that. I would have loved that. I'm so anti the fucking phone.
How do you think that the world would fare now if they just suddenly banned social media?
I think everyone would be a lot happier.
But would they, or would everyone?
I think people would be a lot poorer, but I think everyone would be a lot happier.
Do you not think we've gone like past the point of return with it?
Yeah, I think that the chances of anyone turning around and going, right, social media's been cancelled is never going to fucking happen. But in an ideal world, it would be amazing if it was almost, I don't know, all restricted, or I mean, it sounds absurd, but having like a certain amount of time that you spend on it.
Well, you can do that. You can get apps, I think, on your phone where you can limit how long you're on.
Yeah, but that would be you and I. I'm talking about everyone. Like, I think the problem is everyone's way of life is Instagram. Yeah. Everything's being filmed. We were talking about this earlier. Like when you go to a concert, everyone's phone is like that.
Yeah.
And realistically, do you go home and rewatch that video?
Yeah.
No, and you missed it in real life anyway because you're busy fucking filming it.
What's quite weird is that you get like all of those things from that decade of the 90s are still like the fact that one of the biggest events of next year is Oasis going back on tour. I mean, that's a band from 25 plus years ago. People are way more interested in that than any like new band that's just come out in the last. It feels like we're still
holding on to stuff.
We're still obsessing about that time. There's nothing really happening now that everyone's getting really excited
I honestly think it's...
Who's the like Oasis of now?
I'm trying to think, actually.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are people listening to this thinking that's not true. But
do you think people are happy now?
I think the world is a lot more complicated now than it was in the 90s, which is why watching that documentary was quite eye-opening because it just seemed like a much simpler, happier time. It's hard not to get like too overwhelmed by all the bleakness of the moment. I don't want to bring the mood down too much.
Very suddenly got depressing.
What year were you born?
94.
So you weren't really living it up, were you, in the 90s?
No, I was...
Stomping around
without smoking ciggies and... You know.
Yeah. So what your era would be the noughties, would it? Even then, you would have been like 15.
Yeah.
So it would have been the... What are they calling that? The 10s?
I've got fuck all idea. I still don't really understand who's Gen Z, Gen whatever.
What generation are we? We're not millennial. I think we're just after millennial.
Listen, we were around when the floppy disk existed.
Boomers are the ones who... I mean, we could probably say this because I don't think many boomers listen to this, but the boomers are the ones who really fucked everything up. They really did. Our parents are the ones who really fucked things up. They're still having a great time now. Not a care in the world.
I would prefer that.
They're still having a great time now.
Are they?
Well, my parents are.
My dad just does the fucking crossword.
That sounds great. I'd love to do that. Sit in the Cotswolds and do the crossword. That sounds great. Listen to the M40 out the window.
Shut the fuck up. My parents have moved. I always say to Tom, they live on the hard shoulder.
Do they really live on the hard shoulder?
But when we first went there and I went out for my morning fag, all I could hear was this fucking horns, and I was like...
Morning fag on the side of the M40. It's not the glamorous life people might assume, is it?
We have another national day today, Thomas, and it's National Sausage Pizza Day, which seems extraordinary because we've only just got past the Spicy Sausage Pizza Day.
That sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it? Sausage Pizza Day.
Well, we had, what's the euphemism for Spicy Sausage Pizza Day?
You tell me, you work in sex.
No, sorry, actually, can we Google who makes these up? Does someone just sit there and go, right, today's this?
You know what? A friend of mine the other day, you're like this, was telling me about his experience of going to a sex party.
I was about to say something odd. Yeah, continue.
Him and his girlfriend, a few weeks ago, went to a sex party. And I was like, you have to tell me everything. It was at...
Oh, my old mate's house. Not my mate.
And I was like, I just asked him questions for about 20 minutes. I was like, you just have to tell me everything about what that was like.
So what happens? You go in?
So apparently you go in and everyone... It's just like a normal party for the first...
Everyone's clothed?
Yeah, for the first hour it's just a normal party. Yeah. And then after about an hour people start taking their clothes off.
Oh my God.
And by about 2 hours in, everybody is completely naked.
Completely naked?
And I was like, you're not wearing any like... mask on your face
I
or
thought that was the point of them, that you wear a mask.
Me too. But that's apparently a different thing.
Yeah, that's killing kittens.
So the one he went to, there's no masks. Everyone's just wandering. A couple of people recognised him.
No.
And he was like, I think he had a moment where he was like, oh, maybe I'm getting cold feet. Maybe we should leave. But then he stayed.
I used to like the idea of going to one of those, not to partake, but just to see what it's like, because it sounds slightly fascinating. With a mask on, there's no way
I don't know if you're allowed to go and just watch from the side.
Listen, I didn't say watch from the sides, but just go and see, because some of them, they're not at it like rabbits in all these parties. Some of them, there's sort of different things going on.
Yeah.
I just know. I think the idea actually scares me, which is shocking for someone who's a sex worker.
It is, yeah.
Isn't it?
It really does surprise me that you've never been to one of those.
I don't know how to take that.
Not in a... I mean, like, given your line of work.
My line of work, I'm not that promiscuous, you know.
No, but I would have thought for like... you'd be interested in those things.
So Rory nearly had a heart attack because he found a butt plug in my jaw the other day. I actually fuck with him a little bit. I get sent loads of weird sex stuff, and I sort of...
How much weird sex stuff do you get sent?
A lot. Like chains, cuffs, and I pretend that I want to use it on him, so I get it out and he grabs himself. It's like, sorry.
He must be absolutely terrified. Does it just go straight to your house? Or does it go to your agent and then they send it?
No, it goes straight to my house.
God, that's really terrifying.
I honestly dread to think what my cleaner thinks what I do for work.
What the fuck does the postman think?
He doesn't open up my packages and go, oh, Olivia, another one for you from Love, honey.
It's a big sort of like chain. It just sounds like chains in a big bag.
Yeah.
There was a great story that Stephen Fry once told about during the lockdown. He was doing a food delivery order.
You've told me about this.
I told you about
when
it?
he ordered about 100 oranges or something.
Yeah,
100 cube bananas.
He meant to put 10 and he put 100. And this food delivery guy turned up at Stephen Fry's house with 100 bananas. I was like, we just won't ask any questions. It's fine.
Say nothing.
Just leave it.
If you could have a national day, what would it be then?
I don't know. What's something about me that...
Monotone Mondays.
Monotone Mondays.
By Tom Lucy, where everyone has to be monotone.
Yeah, that's true. Shoes off. You're not allowed to wear shoes.
These aren't quite competing with spicy sausage, are they?
But I think that's quite shit as well, to be honest.
I've realised what I would quite like. There's a horror film called The Purge, and where there's one day of the year they can go around murdering people. And I've often thought, if I had one day of the year...
What, you mean you murder people and there are no consequences?
Yeah. Just every rule goes out.
Can you imagine the fucking chaos?
I know, I'm not sure I'd actually murder someone. I would probably do something else illegal.
Do you think it would be an absolute bloodbath if in London they said, okay, for 24 hours there are no rules?
But I actually think people would go mental.
Do you think people would actually want to kill someone else?
I think there's probably a lot of psychopaths out there. Someone sent me something the other day, because I fall asleep to CSI, which is basically murder and rape. Anyone who can fall asleep listening to that is basically a psychopath.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a psychopath, and I definitely don't think I could murder someone.
That's good to know, isn't it?
We had these bunny rabbits once, and I felt awful doing this. We had these bunnies and a load of chickens. This is at home. Well, I had to kill this bunny.
Why?
Because one of the fucking chickens ate its foot and it was limping around without its foot, so we had to drown it. It was awful.
What?
Anyway.
You drowned
so no,
it?
but how else are you going to kill a little bunny? I didn't.
That's horrific.
And then we had a gamekeeper and he flicked it on the head and apparently that killed it. And I was like, oh, it was horrible actually. I grew up on a farm. These things sort of happen.
I don't think these things do happen.
I think we need to move on from all this. Okay, stat of the week. Hygiene, I hate the word, but toilet etiquette, loo etiquette. How many men and women admitted to not washing their hands after going to the loo? In public loos and at home?
Wow, I think maybe quite a high percentage. You were quite fascinated earlier when I was explaining to you how the rules of men's urinals work.
Listen, I'm not being... Why would I know how men's urinals work? I don't go in there and
That's true.
get my leg up, do I?
I'm quite interested because it seems like girls' bathrooms are just sort of like hangout places. I think
They're the best.
Girls go in there and they just sort of...
Club loos are the best. You go up there, you go to the loo, come back out, you make loads of friends, everyone's doing each other's makeup, you chat about boyfriend. Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in guys' loos.
I suppose if you're standing there with your cock out and you're talking to the guy next to you...
Sure, it does happen in some bathrooms, but not the sort of bathrooms I go to. There are some famous bathrooms, I think, where that does happen.
Yeah.
In parks.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, no.
I gathered what you meant. People sort of dogging and...
You know the people who were in nightclub bathrooms who like...
no spray, no lay guys.
Yeah, those guys, and you meant to give them some money.
Yeah.
Are they employed by the club? Or are they do they just rock up with their own stuff, go in, set up camp, and then do that for 6 hours?
They're employed by the club.
They are?
They're my favourite. The loo ladies.
Yeah.
I could spend hours in there chatting to them. They give me lollipops. Yeah.
How does one get into that line of work?
Some people need jobs.
No, but what's in it for the club to have someone selling?
Well, they probably get tipped quite well, to be honest, because I'll go in there hammered and hand over like 20 quid. Imagine every other person like me. You make
hand over 20 quid?
Yeah, because sometimes I don't have a fiver or something and I feel bad. So I'm like, here, just for one of those little lollipop things.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, it's all kicking off in the girls' bathrooms, isn't it?
They're good. But no, I didn't realise with the urinal thing, if you go in and there's, 5 and a bloke's in one, you have to go furthest from him.
The general etiquette that's never really been discussed, it's just sort of known, is that you're meant to stand as far away from the other man as you can.
Okay, and if you're in one and a guy comes in and he goes right next to you, do you think he's odd? Or do you think he's after you?
I think I'm about to be attacked, yeah.
Do you actually?
Yeah. If it was 8 empty urinals and I was at the far left one, and someone came in and stood at the one directly next to me.
And how does it work? So you go in, and do you ever, when someone comes in, do you glance at them, or you know they're there, but you just don't look because it's too awkward if you make eye contact?
Yeah, you're not meant to look at the person. You're meant to stare forward, which is normally a erectile dysfunction advert. You're meant to just stare. You're meant to just look at that.
Yeah.
And then ignore everyone around you.
But if someone next to you starts trying to have small talk, do you engage with them, and do you...
I don't understand the philosophy of anyone who tries to start a conversation.
But has it happened to you?
Yeah, it has.
And what are they asking you?
Oh, they'll just say something about... I don't know.
These are nice loos.
Probably not that, but it would be like if it was at a gig or something, they might start a conversation about whatever the thing we were watching was.
It's just the concept of it seems so weird, isn't it? You're standing there with your cock out, having a small talk with some bloke you've never met.
It's bizarre. You know what they've got now in the streets around London is like...
They're horrible, those grey things.
Yeah, the urinals in the street.
No, but I suppose that is better than people... I'm not being funny, the amount of times I see blokes just peeing up against the wall, it's revolting. So it's better that you do that than pee on the wall like an old dog.
So were those things, I guess, were put in to stop men doing that?
Yeah.
It's awful, though, just pissing in the street.
It's worse for women. We've got to hold on to it and then run around.
Yeah, they don't have women versions of that, do they?
Thank God, probably. I wouldn't go near one of those. But anyway.
It's pretty bleak, though. It goes back to my point about the 90s. I don't think they were doing that in the 90s, were they?
Okay, right.
Okay, read the stat again.
How many men and women admitted to not washing their hands after going to the loo? In public loos and at home.
I've also got, just to tease people, a questionnaire that I'm going to ask Liv, which I think is going to be quite revealing.
More revealing than stuff you've already asked me?
No, but
I've actually just admitted by myself.
This is different, and I think this is going to...
Okay.
We're really going to get under the bonnet of Bentley here.
Of the psychopath Olivia Bentley.
Let's crack her open and see what we can find. Welcome back to part 2 of Private Parts with me, Tom Lucy.
And me, Liv Bentley.
Let's find out... Sorry?
No, I was going to say, and we're just about to find out how many filthy bastards don't wash their hands after going to the loo.
Bastards. How many, Liv?
Bastards. 1 in 3 men don't wash their hands after the loo.
Wow.
And 1 in 5 women admitted they don't too.
Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't actually, to be totally honest.
Of your 5 closest girlfriends that one of those is not washing their hands? And come on, which one is it? Tell us the name. We
I
say it
could
at the
actually
same
do it
time.
out of my siblings, couldn't I? I just think that's rank. Sorry, I'm thinking about it. I also think since COVID,
Yeah.
I carry around like hand sanitizer. I'm a lot more like,
Paranoid.
Yeah, I am a little bit, if I'm totally
you?
honest. The other thing apparently that spreads disease like nothing else is the hand dryers in the loos. So actually, if you wash your hands, don't use the hand dryers because then you're getting all these germs.
But isn't the whole point of that Dyson one is that you're not meant to touch anything? You just put your hands in.
Yeah, but if you think of the germs that are probably mincing around, can you say mincing? More
You can say.
that are sort of flying around down there.
Harry said the other day that he went to someone's house and they had a Dyson hand dryer in the house.
Yeah, in the bathroom.
Isn't that weird?
That's actually a bit odd. Do they open up their house at the weekends for something?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's where they do all the sex parties. I
Ah.
think. How weird would it be if you went to the loo in someone's house and they had a urinal, like a 6-foot urinal?
That would be fucking niche, actually. But it's like, you know those...
I'd
What,
actually really like that.
what are
That would
those
be
funny
fun.
things called in hotel? Like, you don't really see in people's houses. A bidet thing. What can I tell? What actually is that for? If I'm
Oh,
t-
it's for cleaning your bottom, isn't
I
it?
thought it was for washing your feet.
Have you been washing your feet in there?
Well, I've never really used it, but I just assume...
No, I think it's a sort of, it's an old-fashioned thing, isn't it?
For men and for women.
Have you been to Japan?
Oh, and they have the self-flushing loos.
In
I've seen
Japan, they've got these loos that like spray water up your bum.
that. Bet you quite like that, Tom.
I used to go in there all the time.
Bet you...
Yeah,
you
couldn't
did.
get me out of there.
Do you wash your hands every time after you go to the loo?
Yes, I do. Although I'm sure there have been occasions where I haven't.
But I actually think that's even worse because you've actually manhandled your schlong. Women, on the other hand, use loo roll.
You know what was somebody?
So then actually, if you've touched your thing, then you've gone to shake hands with someone, and essentially they got your penis on their hand.
That's true. You know what I remember doing?
And that is actually, sorry, I'm just now thinking about this more and more. Also, when blokes go to the loo, what if there's a bit of, splashback or something?
Yeah.
That's actually even worse. So
Oh, yeah.
it's truly shocking. Women are obviously way more hygienic, which men should be even more so because of that specific.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Jamie Lang, you told a story on this podcast a couple of years ago about the fact that he sometimes sits on the loo the other way round.
Sorry.
He'll sit on the loo facing the wall.
What?
And he'll put his phone on the top of the...
No, that's bizarre.
He'll put his phone on the top of the loo.
So he mounts the loo?
He sits on the loo
And he-
backwards and uses the thing as like a sort of a desk for his phone.
How long is he sitting down there for?
I don't know, but he told a story about that once and everyone thought it was the strangest thing they'd ever heard.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah. Maybe between now and next week, your challenge is to try that and see if it's better.
I don't wee for that long, if I'm totally honest with you.
Well, you could just see if it's better.
I know I'm not doing that.
Okay, fine.
Imagine if Rory burst through and said, "Why are you dry humping the loo?"
If it's on one of your hormonal days,
Fucking hell.
he'll be like, what have I got myself into?
One of my hormonal days.
Okay,
Teenagers
listen,
at the
what I'm
moment.
going to do now, there is an old TV show
Okay.
which you may have heard of. You can put your cards down because this is all about you.
I feel like I'm having a therapy
We're really
session.
going to get stuck into this.
Do we want to?
There's an old TV show called Inside the Actors Studio. Have you heard of it?
No.
And there was a host called James Lipton, and he used to get really famous actors on, and he would ask them all the same questions.
Right.
And the questions are designed to like make you open up and
Okay.
tell us about yourself. So I thought it would be quite fun to do it with you.
How weird are these questions?
They're
though?
not weird. They're not scary questions.
Okay.
They're normal questions.
Putting the pillow just in case.
But they're designed to sort of make you open up.
All right.
Question number 1. What is your favourite word?
Cunt. Oh, actually, that or bollocks.
I don't think anyone on Inside the Actor Studio said cunt.
Oh.
What is your least favourite word?
Crevice.
God, these are good answers.
Something horrible about that, and then throw moist in front of it, and you're fucked.
A moist crevice.
Oh no, I've got it. Gusset. It's the worst. I don't know why anyone would use that word.
What is a gusset? It's
Oh,
like a sort of
the lining of underwear, isn't it? Is that what it's called? Yeah, a crotch lining.
crotch lining.
Oh, it gives me shivers. Oh no, there's another word that actually makes me feel violent.
there's loads of it.
Discharge. That's too much. And I can't think about it.
Yeah, that's a bad
someone
word.
mentioned it the other day on a call, and I was like, oh god.
What call were you on a call with your doctor?
No, for Jomo about.
What turns you on?
Okay, well, I'm going to answer it not sexually because I think
Okay.
it'd be a bit weird for people to. What like excites me?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds even sort of weirder, doesn't it? I.
You're like
what do I
unraveling
enjoy?
in front of our eyes. This basic questionnaire and you're unraveling.
But when you say what turns you on, it's like, what do you mean?
This is exactly what I
Big
wanted
old
to happen.
brick of ciggies.
A brick of cigarette. Sorry, so just to recap on your answers. Your favourite word is cunt. Your least favourite word is gusset, and what turns you on is a brick of cigarettes.
No. Can I just say Rory? Rory turns me on.
You can't say Rory.
What? Oh, okay.
It's more like in life.
What do I enjoy? I really enjoy like things that are amusing, funny things. That's what I like. Humour's like my biggest thing. Yeah.
Comedians.
Yeah.
Young,
not you, sweetheart.
young male comedians.
Young, in blue Ralph Lauren caps.
You can say me. It's fine.
Okay. Tom Lucy.
What turns you off?
Tax. Generally. I find it irritating.
Tax.
Just tax, generally.
What turns you on is cigarettes. What turns you off is tax. What sound or noise do you love?
I quite like the sound of when you open a can of Coke.
That like a can opening.
Yeah, I quite like that sound.
The M40?
I'm so accustomed to it now, it could almost send me to sleep.
I wonder if there are any noises that we're like pre-programmed to like as human beings.
Some noises make me really angry, like really upset.
Wait for the next question. Right. What sound or noise do you hate?
Dogs barking, children screaming.
This is easy to answer.
There's rap, really hardcore rap makes me angry. And I've been in the car with my brother and he puts it on and I borderline want to crash the car. I'll say to him, please don't put that on. Like it upsets me.
What
triggers something inside me?
Give us some examples of some artists you don't like.
Not a specific artist, but just like really, you know, like quite aggressive music.
Drill.
And I think I've got these little sensitive ears. And it's
You'd like a little piano player.
Yeah, exactly. I like sort of soft music. Not hard.
Do you listen to classical music in the car?
Sometimes. No, I used to when I used to.
It's great.
Do my A levels. I used to sit and listen to. I don't know why. But I quite like all that. I prefer all that.
Yeah, me too. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
It's hard because TV is quite broad. I'd like to do more things in TV.
So you'd stay in TV.
Profession. Motherhood. That's a profession.
Good. Getting quite political here. I like it. You'd like to be a mother?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
God, Liv, this is a real 180.
Well, no, I'd like to be a mother, so I had 9 months without a period, to be honest with you.
You were, I hate kids.
I then got a period and I realised how fucking annoying they are.
I want to be on the Raz for the rest of my life.
I don't want to be on the Raz for the rest of my life. I said to Rory the other day, I said I'd honestly like to get pregnant just to not have to have a period for 9 months.
So the profession you'd like to try other than your own is motherhood?
No, that sounds a bit much.
What other jobs do you think you would like to do?
Oh my God, I don't know. I really don't know.
What did you want to do when you were a kid?
A hairdresser, and then I got a pair of scissors and my mother said, out of the question, because I pretty much shaved one of my sister's head. Oh no, I did my own actually.
So you got some scissors and you went crazy.
I used to want to do that. I wanted to be a polo player at one point.
Yeah.
Photographer, which I used to be. I'm pretty talentless though, so it's sort of hard. Do you know what I mean? Falling out of me is that I don't offer a huge amount.
I think that's true.
Well, I can entertain people for an hour on this old pod.
I think our listeners would disagree with that. What profession would you not like to do?
Something political.
Politician.
Because I'm a bit thick, so it'd be pretty hard for that.
Well, I think a lot of politicians are quite thick.
Oh, I used to want to be a teacher, actually. An art teacher.
Oh, you want to be an art teacher?
I wanted to, yeah. What other professions would I not like to be? I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't like to be a traffic warden.
One of the people who sells perfume in a nightclub?
Well, I don't know. You can meet some pretty jokes people doing that.
Not a lot of natural light, though, is there?
No, it's probably good, though, if you know.
Good for the skin.
Good for the skin.
Yeah. Okay, there's one more question. I want you to really think about the answer to this. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates? This is great.
You made it.
You made it?
You made it.
What would you like your legacy to be? Like if you died, right? And obviously I'd probably speak at the funeral, would I?
Yeah, you'd give the eulogy.
What would you like me to say at the funeral?
That she made people smile.
That's nice, yeah. I'll leave out all the like
the drug problems, the plastic surgery. All of that,
financial issues.
The stolen things.
Yeah, I'll focus on the positives.
Yeah. I would like...
She loved... Oh, no, what I'll say is, everyone, if you could stand and join me in raising a mega pint.
Of rosé.
Yeah.
We just all Olivia.
Raise our rosés. Would you like your funeral to be a happy affair or a sad affair?
A happy affair.
Would it?
Yeah.
What song would you like to...
Oh God, this is getting a bit much, Tom. I've just hit 30.
What about drill? What about Heady One?
No, I'd go I'd come back and haunt you. You did that.
The coffin, you'd be banging on the inside of the coffin. Turn that shit off. Like some
She's back. No,
witch.
I would love...
That's not music. You're like an old mum from the 50s.
I would love people just to say that she made me smile. That would be
That's
it.
nice. I like that.
And that I was sort of like a happy person to be around.
Nice.
Should we ask you these questions?
Did you enjoy that questionnaire?
I did. It was sort of eye-opening, but
I thought that was quite good,
It
right?
was quite good. I'm
We've
just
got
trying
an
to...
insight into benters.
What, that I don't want to be a traffic warden and love the word cunt?
Yeah, those are two things we
I
probably...
think if I was a traffic warden, I'd probably say the word cunt quite a lot.
Yeah, you would. You'd throw bricks through people's windows and say, shout that.
I'm really not this sort of menacing, aggressive character.
No, you're not.
Other than those 2 days, which I heard you say earlier. There's the cheek of this, actually. Tom, earlier when we were sitting, I was talking about this hormonal rage, had the bollocks to say that he actually goes through a period as well.
Did I say that?
Well, yes, you did. And it's like men seem to think they go through menopause.
Oh, yeah, the menopause, yeah. I've heard about
because
this.
they're almost in mourning of their wives. How do you think she fucking feels?
Well, I think what's definitely true of men is that we don't cope with any kind of illness very well, do we?
That is apparent.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Women kind of take it all in their stride and they just keep going.
My father, when we hurt ourselves as kids, like I'd probably broken my arm, he'd go, oh, grow up, you'll be fine. Gets a splinter and he thinks he's had the finger amputated.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, men don't deal well with things.
We don't deal
Women
well.
are built differently. We just get on with it. That's the problem. And like, I'm not being funny. Period pains are fucking agony.
Yes.
They actually
we were going to
are.
get that simulator,
No,
weren't we?
you know what I've decided instead? I'd like to pump you full of estrogen, and then you feel a bit more hormonal. Do you know what I mean? A bit of
Yes,
emotion.
come on.
Let's do that. Let's do that for a week. You just take a few different
What,
things.
you want me to transition?
I'd like you to take the contraceptive pill, actually. See how that fucks with you. It's horrific, Tom. I went to the theatre once and just cried.
So you just sort of burst into tears at
Yeah,
random points?
you wake up. Women are so different to men. You wake up and probably feel the exact same every single day. Women, you don't know what you're going to get.
Depressed, yeah.
But no, sometimes you're overexcited. Other days you're just a bit flat. And there are times. The worst part is you don't really know what it is. Like it's nothing specific.
Yeah.
You just wake up and you're like, well, I'm going to be a grumpy cunt today.
And where are we today on the scale?
We're happier now.
Okay.
I'm in the needy phase because I think
are we in the needy
It's the
phase?
2 days prior to my period. That's where you don't want to be around.
Okay.
And then I get my period and then it's all lovey-dovey. Rory said, you look at me like you don't even love me sometimes. And I go, yeah.
That is a lovely
There's
place.
nothing behind the eyes.
That is such a sweet place to end.
Am I the only person who has this? I feel like I feel... And then 2 days later, I can't like leave alone. But it's weird. Some people don't have all this and other women do.
Well, I am in a relationship as well.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend will have the same sort of
Does she?
ups and downs. What would my advice be to other men? Well, you said something funny earlier. You said that there are some men who say, oh, we're on our period. So they make it...
So you'd make it about yourself.
It about them.
And why do I
great.
feel that is you?
No, I wouldn't do that. I sort of hate the idea of a man saying we're on our period. That's like
You sound fucking wet.
a man wearing a t-shirt that says feminist on it. They're the ones you want to be careful of.
Shall I give you the warnings of what not to do?
Okay.
Don't ever say...
Don't speak.
Don't say calm down. Never. And actually, that is irrelevant to the time of the month that she's on. If you ever tell a woman to calm down, it's the worst thing you could do.
Oh, I've done it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's the worst, isn't it? Because in your head, the woman gets even angry and go, don't you do that.
Yeah.
Actually, do you know what Rory did, which was fucking adorable? I said to him, I was in a meeting yesterday and I said, I just feel horrific. So I got back and he bought me a bunch of flowers, a bottle of red wine and some banana bread.
That's nice.
Actually, the sweetest thing. No one's
nice.
ever done that for me, just because I have period
that's
pains.
sweet.
Very
And
sweet.
what did you do? You smashed the bottle,
Choked him with the banana bread.
put the whole loaf in his mouth, and battered him with the flowers, and said, get the
No,
fuck
I
away
didn't.
from me.
I was like, that is very sweet.
It's not been 3 days. That is very sweet.
Very sweet. Guys
Yeah.
should be more like that.
So don't say calm down.
Don't say calm down.
Can I throw one in as well? Don't laugh.
No, don't laugh.
The absolute worst thing to do in an argument with a girlfriend is to laugh. Sometimes I laugh because I'm nervous.
No, I know,
And it's
but-
not even because I find it funny. I'm just nervous. So I laugh, and that sometimes I can feel a laugh coming on.
No, don't. It's like when you
And
get...
I'm like, I need to get out of this room before I laugh because
That just is...
shit's gonna really hit the fan if she sees the corner of my mouth go up.
I mean, I would imagine witnessing my performance the other day was probably highly amusing. So I like...
Yeah, but
I
you just
could-
can't laugh.
You can't.
Can you? Would you go crazy if Rory laughed?
My problem is, right, I don't have... My sort of levels of anger last for all of 2 minutes. Like, I literally is like hot and heavy for 2 minutes and I'm over it. Because
Yeah.
I've exhausted myself. So I just have the energy and then I go, let's get over it, come on.
Yo, take those off.
Take those.
Okay, so don't laugh, don't say calm
Don't
down.
laugh. Just let them have their little tantrums and then they get over it.
Okay, that's good advice. That is good advice.
Because it doesn't last long, these moments of, well, mine don't.
I would like to hear what other men listening to this, what bits of advice they would have for keeping a calm, peaceful home life.
And I'd like to hear if any other women suffer with my what I go through and if they found of any medication.
Rage.
Yeah, I could sleep for the 2 days, to be honest.
Yeah, just sleep through it.
Yeah. Wake up like some...
contact@privatepartspodcast.com for any questions, queries, dilemmas, thoughts about anything we've said. @privatepodcast on all the social media. Liv, you're going to try sitting on a loo backwards.
I'm not going to try sitting on a loo backwards, if I'm honest. It doesn't really sit well with me.
And then we're going to come back and we're going to do a beard up special. Don't forget that you can watch the full episodes at youtube.com/privatepart.